as we all know, if your name is the Batman, then you are goated with the sauce, straight bussin' for real, no cap. But because I'm not allowed to have nice things, The Batman Part 2 has been delayed a year from October something 2025. What was it? October 3rd, 2025 to October 2nd of 2026. And this is an interesting situation. The trades are saying that the delay is due to the strikes that we experienced, and it does make sense to a certain degree. Like, if Matt Reeves was being a good boy, he couldn't have been working on the on the script throughout the strike, and so once the strike ended, that's when he was able to start working on it. So who knows how far along he was when the strikes began, and who knows how much he had to do once the strike ended. And we have seen Jeffrey Wright come out recently and say that he hasn't read the script yet, like they haven't given it to him. So that does lend credence to the idea that, yeah, they're just still working on the script. But also, Jeff Snyder, who is an industry insider, is also saying that, while yes, the strikes are a factor here and that Matt Reeves is still working on the script, he's also saying that a big part is that a lot of sound stages in Hollywood have been booked up, and I guess they literally just can't film in time to make the 2025 release date. And so, yeah, in part, a lot of this does add up to me, right? Like, we knew that after the strikes, writers were going to end up missing their deadline, and schedules were going to be scrambled, and this is just a thing that was going to have to happen at some point. And so I definitely understand that things were going to get delayed. But even with that understanding, a year is a long time, I feel like. And I have come up with some conspiracy theorems that I am going to share in order to make this video longer. So the first thing that does come to mind, if I'm being completely honest, is, are they going to end up canceling the movie? No, James. James, I know you can hear me. If you fucking cancel this shit, you have no idea what's coming to you, okay? You think the Snyder freaks are bad? You have no idea how much I will complain on Twitter. You have no idea the mob that I will rise up. Now, we will be respectful. We will not send you angry DMs. We will not harass you necessarily, but we will complain on Twitter, and we will be loud. We will use all caps. We will use the emojis. You don't know what the fuck you're messing with, James Gunn. Now, do I actually think that the movie's going to get canceled? No. I mean, if you're going to introduce Elseworlds as a concept, which they have already, I mean, why would you cancel the Batman Part 2? But maybe they've kind of reevaluated their strategy, and maybe they've come to the conclusion that it might just be too risky to have two live-action Batmen at the same time. But that does lead into my next conspiracy theorem. It is the case that the Arkham Asylum show that Matt Reeves was originally making for his Batverse has been turned into a DCU show, right? That is a show that is now going to take place within the DCU. Maybe talks continued past that, and maybe they decided to put the Robert Pattinson Batman into the DCU. I don't know. I'm not saying that's likely. I'm just saying, if they're going to rewrite the story to such a degree, that could constitute a year's worth of rewrites. Having Robert Pattinson's Batman be the DCU Batman, that would make it make sense to put it a year after Superman Legacy. Sorry, not Superman Legacy. It's just called Superman now. Again, do I think that that's going to happen? No, not necessarily. But maybe. We've already seen one of Matt Reeves' projects turn into a DCU project. So listen, do I think any of that is actually going to happen? No. I think it more or less lines up. Is a year a really long time? Yeah. But on the other hand, I do think that it adds up to something else that James Gunn has talked about, which is that his DC universe is not going to be beholden to release dates. He's talked about how he's seen movies go into production before the script is finished and how it just completely ruins movies where they just don't even know what the third act of the movie's going to be by the time they start filming. And he's definitively said that they will not start production on a movie until they have a script. And by the way, we've seen James Gunn delay Waller recently as well. He's openly talked about how, because of the strikes, the showrunners are still writing that series. And so it's now coming out after Peacemaker season 2. So he seems to be consistently putting the scripts first before production on these projects, before getting release dates, before like needing stuff to come out before other projects because of how they interact with each other. He seems to be consistently applying that philosophy so far, and at the end of the day, that is something that I wholeheartedly support. If it is actually the case that Matt Reeves feels like his script is still a long ways out from completion, from being ready, where he feels comfortable and ready to have properly storyboarded the movie out, worked with Greg Fraser to scout out everywhere that they want to film. And obviously, if Jeff Schneider is right and there just literally aren't enough sound stages available where that's an issue as well, then yeah, delay the movie. Because yeah, at the end of the day, let Matt Reeves cook. I want to eat a delicious meal, go num 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 num.